Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ruth and today is an update on Panthose eyeshadows. This project was started by Lexi. I believe she's a bit busy with life and stuff like that at the moment, which is, perfectly understandable. So she hasn't been keeping up with this project this year, unfortunately, and we were all so excited to see her back, but life gets in the way. That's just the way it is. But yeah, I'll still link her channel below because she's a fantastic playlist of previous years and that. And I'm also going to put Rebecca Morgan's channel down there as well, because that's actually where I first saw this project and was the first place that I became enraptured with the whole Panthose eyeshadows project and just binging all the videos that were out there. So yeah, I'll link Rebecca Morgan's channel down below as well, because she would have been the one that inspired me. With this project, I given myself 20 uses or hit pan as my goals, because look, it's my first year out, I haven't got pan or near or dips or nothing in any of my eyeshadows, so we're taking it handy this year. Also, I had my Kat Von D Shade and Light eyeshadow palette in this project as my project pan that palette for the year. So each time one of those shades was in this 5, because I picked 5 shadows, was one of the 5, and that was going really nicely until I moved the rooms around and I cleaned out a lot of stuff, and the bins went out last Friday, and since then I cannot find that palette. I suspect it is in the dump. Which, look, it was my oldest palette in my collection. But I am a bit gutted because I did enjoy it. It did work fantastically as a matte palette for, it just went with everything else. And I was making nice progress on it as well. I was literally hitting my goal every month. It is what it is. I'm not going to be losing sleep over it, apart from last night, because I was thinking, did I put it there? Did I put it there? Oh, I better put it there. Oh, no, it's definitely over here. It's not in any of those places. I checked them all at 4 in the morning. So yeah, we're going now. I'm going to go through my updates on the shadows that I had in my last video. And when we're rolling in, we're going to roll in for a 5th eyeshadow palette. So I'm not going to bring in another palette as a focus pan that palette, because I just don't want to at the moment, to be honest with you. And that was my oldest palette, and that was the one that I wanted to focus on. And it was great because it went with everything and any other palette that came in. I'm over it, I'm letting it go, let's move on. So, let's start with the most exciting one. So this is the Riviera palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And the shade that I had was the shade Mediterranean. So this shade right here, as you can see, look at it there. As Steph would say, loosey juicy goosey panuel. Beautiful. Didn't really like this eyeshadow, if I'm being very honest. It's very flaky. You have to have a glitter glue with it, or it's all over your face. It doesn't pick up on a brush. I had to use, one of those felt applicators, sponge kind of applicators, and that's why the pan, but these pans are not that deep. I mean, looking from the side, they're quite shallow in comparison to other brands that I own. Now, I know everyone says that about Anastasia, so I don't know why I'm surprised, But there you go. It is true. They are shallow, and I have hit pan, which is great. Now, the only thing is, 20 or pan is my goal. I think it took 8, if even, to hit that. But look, it's done and it's out. Next up was my Urban Decay Naked 2 palette. This would also be one of my oldest palettes, but I'm not really looking to pan this one at the moment. I kind of had this in, and I'll be honest with you, I thought, oh, that's going to end up getting decluttered because they won't perform well anymore, but they actually do. The shade, sorry, now I have to try and hold one of the shades in because it keeps falling out. This one over here keeps falling out. It was this shade here that I had, which is Busted. So Busted was the shade I had. And I haven't hit pan it, but I did use it 20 times. So predominantly it was liner, basically, was the main way. I did use it the odd time to deepen out the outer corner, but I've been wearing a lot of kind of warmer looks at the moment because it's summertime. So predominantly it worked as an eyeliner, and it was actually really nice as an eyeliner. It really brought out my eye colour. I was kind of surprised at how well it worked. So I'm really happy that it ended up in this project, because I'd kind of given up on that palette. I was going to keep it for sentimental reasons, because it was the palette that got me started on the road to monstrous makeup consumption. But and my husband bought it for me for my birthday a good few years back. But it's still working perfectly, so she's staying and she will be used. What isn't working perfectly, unfortunately, is the Master Eye Palette from Primark. So this is it here. This is what the palette looks like, and the shade that I had was this one here, so quite a cool tone shade. But this palette stinks to high heavens. It's gone, it's done, it's had its day in the sun, and it is finito. Look, it doesn't owe me anything. It's about 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old, I'd say, and it only cost €8. So it's not like I'm standing in the corner crying about it. It's fine. But I did try and use it. My eyes were very sensitized by it, and they're sensitive enough as it is, so I wasn't going putting them through anymore. And the last palette then, apart from obviously my Kat Von D that's gone on its travels, I had the Tatty Beauty Volume 1. Okay, so Naked 2, we're going into story time here. When I got Naked 2, I looked up on YouTube videos on how to use it, because I wouldn't have been, not that I am now, but I wouldn't have had any knowledge really of using eyeshadows. I used to just, put one colour in my eye and I was done. So I went down the rabbit hole that is YouTube, and Tatty was one of the first videos that I found. And I just ended up watching so much of her content and subscribing to her and just thoroughly enjoying the content that she was creating. So she really was my first YouTube, the first one that I really subscribed to and watched religiously. As time went by and she started hanging around with the likes of Jeffree Star, I lost interest. Prior to that, I'd even felt that she was getting kind of, I don't know, everything was so bougie and everything was so, all the free stuff we get. And I had started to lose interest in her, and I had started to, I don't know, just not enjoy her overall ethos or something. I don't know. But then she started hanging out with Jeffree Star, and that was it, I was done. I was like, no thank you, goodbye. So I had unsubscribed at that stage, and then, Jesus, all the shit hit the fan, and it was horrendous. I don't know overall how I feel about her now. I did buy the palette because part of it was because she was one of the first that I subscribed to, and I really wanted to try it, and I loved the colour story. Yeah, I loved the colour story. That was a big part of it for me as well, and I was just really intrigued by it. And I love this palette. I genuinely love this palette. It is fantastic. Since she's come back recently, I have subscribed to her again. And I know there's a nostalgia factor there that I just there's something warm and cozy about listening to her talk about makeup. If she has truly stopped hanging around with those gobshites that she was hanging around with. I mean, I know she's a grown-ass woman, but we all make mistakes, and I suppose get excited when someone bigger than you shouts you out, or wants to collab with you, or things like that. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for her, but she's one of the few that said, I'm taking time away from YouTube and the internet, and she actually took time out. Like, she actually just completely disappeared off the internet. What are your thoughts on that? Let me know down below. Are you a Tatty fan? Were you a Tatty fan? Could you not give a shite about her? Which way? Are you following her again? Are you not going to give her the benefit of the doubt? Tell me. I'd love to know, because I'm a little bit conflicted myself. I don't know how I feel. But at the end of the day, it's just a YouTube channel, It's not that deep. But anyway, long story long. I had the Matte Storm shade, which is this shade here. So quite a warm shade, which is perfect for this time of year. But it's pushed me out of my comfort zone a bit, because it wouldn't be something I'd dip into that frequently. So I haven't used it 20 times. Really, I got a real feel for it, and I really liked it. It's the kind of shade that you can really buff out if you want to make it a bit more tame, shall we say, or you can really amp it up. So I really enjoyed it. In case you're wondering where my glitters are gone, this is a magnetic palette, which Hayley caught me. And I removed the glitters because they go everywhere in the palette. They're beautiful. They actually are fantastic pressed glitters. I really, really enjoy using them. So yeah, that got used 20 times. So all my eyeshadows are rolling out. Go me. Now, I have all my palettes put into the Tiny Decisions app, which I had done at the start of the year. And that's what I use to pick out my palette. And then I use Pretty Random to pick the shade. So because my room's all over the place at the moment and I'm moving stuff, I've just already picked the palettes, but we'll pick the shades together. Are we okay with that? I'm sure nobody will mind. My only stipulation is that I don't, work on the same type of shade, because that's kind of pointless to me, So I'm going to pull up Pretty Random. No, I don't want to allow it to track my app, thanks very much. And so the first palette that was selected for me was the Going Coconuts by Colourpop, which is interesting because I know Steph loves this and lots of people love this palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. Oh, before that, they were the colours, sorry. That was the Tatty colour, the Riviera colour, the Urban Decay Naked, and the Primark palette. That was the colour story I was working on, plus the white shade from Kat Von D. Back to this. I know Steph loves it. I'm struggling to see what the fascination with Colourpop is, if I'm being very honest. I have a lot of BH Cosmetics palettes, which I personally prefer. Just a personal preference. I don't know that I'll be going through all the hassle that it is for me to order any more Colourpop palettes for the moment. But this was in kind of a chopping block kind of thing that I'm starting to form a little bundle. I'm forming for myself just to see what I love and what I don't. And this just isn't really doing it for me. So I'm delighted this is actually coming in here, because it'll force me to use it more. So here we go. We have 3, 6, 9 shades. So we're going to do 1 to 9. So 1. Please work. Please. No, I want 1 to 9. Sorry now, technical difficulties, and we're randomizing. Oh, so we got number 4. So we're going across. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a dark brown shade. Look, it'll be great as a liner, won't it? Yes, Ruth, it'll be lovely as a liner. So this shade here. What are you called? Lovely Bunch. Right. Oh, Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. I get you. Yes, I do have a lovely bunch of coconuts. Next up is my e.l.f. Hot Jalapeno palette. It's this little guy here. And again, I'm happy with that, because that's a cute little palette to have for the summertime. Did I have this in already at the start of the year? I can't remember. Didn't hit pen anyway, that's for sure. These are the shades here, beautiful shades. Really hope I don't get the dark green now, because that would be a pity. But anyway, we're going to do 1, 2, 4. And we are going to randomize. Aren't we? Randomize. What? All numbers have been rolled. Clear history. I'm so sorry. 1 to 4. 2. Okay, cool. That's the kind of a shiny green shade there. So let us have a little swatchy swatch. They'll go nice together actually as well, won't they? You see that? Oh, we're a bit washed out. There we go. So yeah, that's lovely. That's yeah, there's no names in them, but that's lovely actually. Yeah, happy with that. That's a really nice summer kind of shade. With clear history again, just in case it's acting the maggot. Next we have the Viseart, whichever way you want to say it, the Paris Edit palette. Here it is here. And these are the shades. I have moved them around a little bit to be a bit more, I enjoy when the same colour story is kind of together, if that makes sense. That's just how I roll. So what have we got? 12. 1, 2, 12. Now 1, 2, 12, and we want to randomize. And we got number 5. So what is 5? All right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's this, just a very plain kind of transition shade. Nothing too fancy. It's okay, there was no breakages. They just fell out of the pans. All is well. I'm not going to move until this video is over, in case they go anywhere. Anyhow, there it is there. So it's like a pinky, beigey, browny kind of shade. Kind of camel shade. Okay, so that's completely doable and workable. Next one is the Revolution Soap Palette. This was in earlier in the year, so we won't, obviously I've hit pan on one of the shades in here, so that won't be in the run-in this time around. And this is what it looks like on the inside. I always find it funny when, you know, a palette comes back into this, you know, we see it so many times in other people's, it's like Rebecca Morgan, Born to Run, and Laura Force, is it the Take Me Back to Brazil, and Emily and Max, I think she had, is it the Violet Voss, the really pastel one. It's just, I always find that interesting. And Jaclyn Hill palette, that, Jesus, that just doesn't want to leave people's projects. Anyway, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 24 shades, minus 1 for the one that has pan, so 1 to 23. 23. And we are randomizing. And what do we get? Number 13. Unlucky for some. 12, 13. Oh, lovely. So number 13, sorry, no, I'm trying not to, is this lovely kind of light orange shade. That'll be fun. This will turn out very cohesive. Need to build it up just a little bit, but there, it's hard to, there we go, now you can really see it. Yeah, that's lovely. I'm happy about that. And this is so odd, but the next palette that was picked for me, the last one, is also a Revolution by Soph palette. So Katie, if you're watching, Katie was very curious to know who the hell Soph was and what her palettes were. Katie, these are her palettes, both of them. Haven't bought the third one yet. So yeah, this is the palette, super colourful. Really excited, and obviously it will work well with the other Soph palette. I did find that there was a bit of duplication in the shades between this and the first palette, so that's kind of what has me reluctant to get the third, because I don't want to be, you know, doubling up on shades. They might be a hair different, but once they're on their eyes, there isn't that much between them. This one had less shades, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 18. Okay. Don't know why this one had less shades in it, but it did. So 1 to 18. And randomize. Number 14. So 6 and 6, 12, 13, 14. Chocolate orange. Is it different enough from the Viseart one? Oh, it is, I suppose. Yeah, it's deeper, I suppose, yeah. So that I was going to say I'm not going to work on it because it was a bit too similar. But it's different enough. I don't know why I keep looking down as if they're going to magically put themselves back into the palette. And they're not. So there it is. That is my... It's hard sometimes to see the shades, isn't it? Those are the shades. So yeah, look, that's fun. Oranges and greens and browns. I mean, it couldn't be more summery, really, could it? So that's good. You can stop when you're done. So that is it. So 20 or pan. Those are my goals. So that was last month's. And this is this month's. Quite similar actually when you put them like that, aren't they? Apart from the green and the blue. Oh, look, we'll have fun. At least I get to use those palettes now that they're out and about. Will you stop moving your foot? Okay then, let's wrap up this video before we make any more of a mess of ourselves. How are you getting on with your Panthose eyeshadows? Is it working out for you? Is it not? Are you wearing less makeup because it's summertime? Do you know, I notice people maybe aren't putting out as many videos and stuff like that at the moment because it's summertime and they're out and about and doing stuff, and sure, look, who can blame you? Lockdowns are finished in a lot of countries, so people actually can go out and about. Here in Ireland, we are out of lockdown. Not everything is open yet. We're still wearing masks and we're still social distancing. I have my first vaccine got, so I'm waiting on my second. Pete has his first one gone, he's waiting on his second. So, you know, we're getting there slowly but surely. But this new variant, the Delta variant, has kind of put the kibosh on things, because the pubs and restaurants and places like that were supposed to be opening up Monday. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen now, because the government is just worried that this new variant is going to spread fairly rapidly. But we'll hope for the best. And, you know, at least the sun is shining here and we can get out and about and do things, and we're not, you know, limited to just being our own 5 kilometres. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and all the chaos that came with it. Yeah, until the next one, I'll take care. Talk to you soon. Bye. Slán.